Hey guys, my name is Janine from Pangolin Photo Safaris, and I'm coming to you from probably one of the most unique, remote and special places on this planet. I had the fabulous opportunity to fly from Cape Town due south all the way to the Antarctic continent to come and visit the almighty emperor penguin. This is a trip of a lifetime for me. I actually cannot believe I'm standing here, and I would like to take you on the trip with me. Are you ready? In this video, I would like to introduce you to one of the most unique, exclusive and exceptional expeditions you could aspire to do as a nature enthusiast and wildlife lover. I was incredibly lucky to jump on an expedition to the Dronning Maudland on the Antarctic continent. For years, I've been dreaming to come and explore Antarctica as a wildlife photographer. However, I had a large ship in mind that would depart from South America to sail to the Antarctic Peninsula in order to find penguins, icebergs, and whales. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect to fly to this continent and start my search for penguins with the almighty emperor penguin. I will try and do this region justice by sharing my impressions and experiences with you. Now, you might think that my general lack of experience regarding Antarctica and my overzealous enthusiasm for all things nature might bias this video, but not to worry, as I made sure to add some expert opinions to provide you with all the details you might need. But let's start at the beginning. Yes, you heard correctly. We are flying straight south from Cape Town with the Illusion aircraft, a former cargo airplane that has been approved for both passengers and commercial airports alike. For aircraft enthusiasts, this experience alone is worth a trip. Landing on a blue ice runway that is operated by Ultima Antarctic Logistics, we arrive at the gateway for everything to do with expeditions, South Pole trips, as well as logistical support for research camps off the area. From here, we are only a 25-minute drive away from our camp, which is located on the Schumacher Oasis, a rocky outcrop that is wedged between the edge of the Antarctic ice sheet and the Nivelle ice shelf. Oasis Camp doesn't just provide us with comfortable and cozy accommodation during our stay, but surprised me with an unmatched service level that was only comparable to a 7-star camp in the Okavango Delta. While serving as our base for all the excursions, the Ultima Antarctic Expedition team continuously spoiled us with fine dining, a sommelier experience, a relaxing sauna, and all creature comforts in between. Obviously, all excursions are heavily weather dependent, but the main objective of this one-week expedition to the Antarctic continent is to visit 2 emperor penguin colonies, as well as the dramatic and fantasy-inspiring Drygalski Mountains. For these purposes, we have a twin otter on skis at our disposal that will fly the small group of up to only 8 guests to the desired destinations. Again, an aviation enthusiast's dream come true. These excursions are carefully planned by our pilots, guides, and expedition leaders alike, depending on the weather forecast to make landing in the icy landscape 100% safe. However, all other days can be filled with exploration of the Schumacher Oasis itself. On our first full day, we were blessed with incredible weather, and we used the opportunity to visit the Astrid Emperor Penguin colony about an hour's flight away from the runway. The biosecurity protocols are incredibly strict to ensure the safety of this threatened species and to make sure not to carry any contaminants into the breeding colonies or even the continent itself. Starting at the Ultima office in Cape Town, and for every single flight thereafter, shoes, tripods, crampons, and walking sticks get disinfected thoroughly over and over again to ensure safety of the colonies. During the day of our visit, everyone was excited to see and experience an emperor colony up close and personal. However, no one was prepared for the spectacular sceneries that we got to experience from the Twin Otter. Our pilot clearly loved and enjoyed the natural beauty of this white desert as much as his first-time visitors, and made sure to turn every single flight into a spectacular event of sightseeing and an exhilarating experience of aviation, only outdone by his own skills. For the penguins' safety, we have to land about 1 kilometer away from the colony and get a few steps in on our way to the penguins. Not just any penguins, no, emperors. Their chicks look like a minimalist painting and have nothing in common with an ugly duckling, and their endearing and almost clumsy behavior makes them an all-time favorite amongst photographers. Weirdly enough, they are astonishingly fast, tobogganing over the sea ice at a speed you would not expect from this heavy-set creature. But is it worthwhile coming all this way? Let's ask the expert.
I'm Peter Ryan from the University of Cape Town. I've been working in the Antarctic for about 40 years. It's just the most incredible place to come and visit. And emperor penguins are really special birds. They're the only bird in the world that breed on ice. All other birds have to return to land to breed. All the seabirds have to come to land. But these guys can breed on ice. And the way they do that is by balancing their single egg on their feet and incubating it right through the heart of the Antarctic winter. So I think the emperor penguin, to many people, is the ultimate penguin. It's obviously the biggest penguin in the world. It's the deepest diving seabird. And it's really special because it is just such a difficult bird to get to see. Most people who visit Antarctica go to the Antarctic Peninsula, and on the west coast of the peninsula there are no emperor penguin colonies, so very few visitors to the peninsula actually see an emperor, even one. So the privilege to come here and see a whole colony of these guys doing their thing is just unbelievable. It's quite incredible, and it's really only available to flying into the interior of the continent early in the season. If you come down later, you're just not going to see this sight.
Photographically, the asteroid colony is set between beautiful icebergs that have a dreamlike bluish tint to them. However, separation can be difficult with a few thousand individuals rummaging around. Regardless, in 3 hours on site, there is plenty of opportunity to observe, photograph, enjoy, hike and explore under the expert guidance of your expedition leader and ornithologist. On days that we do not get to fly out of camp, we get to explore the incredible ice formations of the region. Between the ice shelf and the ice cap, nature has formed incredible landscapes, some in the form of ocean-like ice waves that look like they have been frozen in a fury, but were actually compressed over time instead. Some as delicate encapsulations of air, some as enormous ice walls, icy cracks, and others as statues frozen in time. One of my favorite outings was to an ice tunnel that created the most unbelievable patterns, colors, and structures. I loved it because it allowed us to experience the ice close and personal in an almost interactive way. As the actual facts of this icy continent cannot truly be fathomed, it helps to touch, smell, feel and hear the vastness up close and personal. Did you know that 90% of the world's glacial ice stems from here? Yet, we struggle to have fresh water as it is all frozen and needs to be melted for our own consumption. We drive over ice that's hundreds of meters thick. We're still more than 1,000 kilometers away from the South Pole, as this continent is twice as large as Australia. You stand amidst the ice, and yet you struggle to grasp it all. This icy desert. A huge thanks to David Sinclair for shaping his vision into this extraordinary expedition.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, a team of 6 came down here to scout all the different locations in Dronning Maudlin. We had an alpinist, a historian, a wildlife photographer, etc. And We had an amazing time looking for the best possible itineraries we could do in the region, utilising the logistics out of Cape Town with Ultima Antarctic Logistics with 20 years experience here. I'm extremely grateful for the extraordinary privilege of being able to come down here. This is something that almost no one experiences. So some of the places we visit, there's way more people have set foot on Mount Everest than have come to some of the places. And this is not your standard Antarctic product. It's genuinely remote, it's exploratory, and for me, it's a dream come true. I mean, how many people get to do this? So I feel humbled by Antarctica and the opportunity to do this, and it's a real thrill just to share it with people. I can't think of anything better to do on planet Earth. Yeah.
And what if you feel utterly unequipped for such an expedition? Not to worry at all. All required equipment and gear for your excursions can be provided by the Ultima team, either in Cape Town during the initial brief and fitting, or if needed in camp. This entails clothing, crampons, boots, safety equipment such as helmets, etc. And from a skill level, the incredible team is ever diligent and makes sure everyone is safe, well informed, and uses all equipment appropriately. After a few days of weather and even some snow, which is rare in a desert, we got to fly out again, this time to the Lazarev Emperor Penguin Colony. And what a flight it was.
My name is Kelsey, and I've got 12 years of flying in Antarctica, and I've had the privilege of flying in just about every part of the continent. I think what makes it special for me, what keeps bringing me back is, I think it's still considered a very pristine area of the world. Here we're on the sea ice right now, just off of the Lazarev ice shelf, and up until last year there's been no documented visits to this area that we're aware of, and we literally get to land and then walk among the icebergs. There is an emperor colony here, and that's what brought us here, but it's the scenery, the sea ice, and the icebergs that are just as unique and stunning as the emperors. And I think it's that ability to travel a part of the world that is, again, untouched by most people, unseen by most people. Yeah, that makes it kind of unique and special, and it causes a bit of introspection for most people.
While this colony has less individuals, it is beautifully cradled between the icebergs and not too far from the ocean. This allowed us to observe them tobogganing forth and back from the water, and allowed for a beautiful hike along the sea ice as well, if people wanted to change it up or simply stay warm. Only a few dozen people have ever had the privilege to observe these very individuals, and I was soaking up every moment with awe. And so were they, it seemed, as they observed their visitors with the natural curiosity of an animal that hasn't encountered humans before. This curiosity allows the photographer to get up to 5 meters close without altering or changing their behavior, which allows us, in turn, to observe their typical interactions from snoozing, to begging, to eating snow to cool down, to fighting with each other. And in one instant, even a baby between the legs. I was switching off between my 400mm f2.8, a wide-angle lens, and a few smaller video devices, and in many cases had to back off significantly to get the shot I wanted.
We're here today on a beautiful sunny day on the sea ice at the Lazarev Emperor Penguin Colony. This colony was thought to have disappeared a few years ago, and it's rediscovered by satellite imagery, and we were the first in here last year. It's just beautiful. Have a look around you. We're surrounded by icebergs that have carved off the Lazarev ice shelf, and these magnificent emperor penguins. Some of these adults here, they're really well fed. They weigh up to 40 kilograms, and their chicks are looking really well fed. It's great to see healthy animals in this colony.
Last but not least, we got to fly to the Drygalski Mountains. I didn't quite have a concept of what this entailed. What I didn't know is that I still had the most spectacular flights ahead of me, but I was soon to find out. While not the highest peaks on this continent, the dramatics of these scattered mountains has inspired their names from northern mythology.
We've just landed at Ultana. I've never been this remote anywhere in the world in my life. It's minus 33 degrees. It's so raw, it's beautiful, it's crisp, it's out of this world. We're having hot soup by the airplane there.
The Twin Otter lands in 3 different areas around these mountains to provide everyone with ample time to admire this mythical landscape. Fabulous shapes, raw cliffs, silence, yawning shadows, crystalline temperatures, and roaring aircraft engines, all combined create an unlikely experience that cannot be forgotten.
What makes this trip to Antarctica so special? I'm very, very fortunate. I've traveled on ships, visited South Georgia, stunning, unbelievably beautiful. Seen the peninsula, beautiful. But this is something different, something completely out of this world. A very small group of 8 people, travel by plane very quickly, you don't need to cross the Drake Passage, fly from Cape Town straight to Antarctica, and then once you're here, we use this little Twin Otters to take us to sceneries like this, emperor penguin colonies. I don't know if you know, I've never seen an emperor penguin until I arrived here. One of the most rarest penguin species out there. This is a dream come true trip for me and one of the most amazing experiences I had in my life.
A big thank you also to the Ultima Oasis Camp and their team who go above and beyond to make sure that while we get to experience and visit this place, we leave no imprint. With their no-waste policy, everything gets taken out of camp, and with their strict structural as well as biosecurity protocol, nothing human-made is permanent to ensure that this place stays as untouched as it was when we arrived.
We have spent a full week at the Oasis Camp, where the Ultima Antarctic Expedition team has been catering to our every need, making us feel like royalty. But most importantly, this week has been life-changing for me. I came with such high expectations. For years and years I wanted to come to Antarctica, and I had this last-minute opportunity to join this expedition to my 7th continent. Regardless, my expectations have been far succeeded. I couldn't have fathomed the enormity of this place, the vastness, the scale, the quantity of ice, the beauty and rawness. I have seen men that have visited this continent for over a decade tear up because they were so touched by what they have seen on this very trip. Visiting the mountains, the emperor penguin colonies with their little tiny chicks and the interaction in this harsh landscape. It's been absolutely life-changing, and I can't think of any other trip I've ever done that has broadened my horizon to this extent and touched me right here. There's no words for it, and I fear the pictures I'm showing you haven't been doing it justice. All I can tell you, you have to come and experience it for yourself. It is mind-bogglingly beautiful.